Today I decided to speedrun Castle Crashers with my friends Chris, Purple Hair Guy, and Brian, which was much harder than I thought it'd be. Now the speedrun starts with all of us dancing cause we the boys, but then a guy gets knocked into the room, dies, and we gotta go check out what caused it. And it turns out some wizard is trying to steal the king's gem, so we gotta get our revenge. Here's when we get into the main gameplay loop of fighting enemies and trying to juggle them. To do this, we jump into the air and do a mixture of light and heavy attacks to keep them from touching the ground. It takes a bit to get used to, but it's a very reliable way to defeat most enemies while not getting damaged. But after those guys, we see that the 4 princesses are getting taken away. So that's our mission, save them all. Especially Purple Hair Girl, I really feel bad for her. But this is a good spot to explain something else about the enemies. Basically, the more people you have in Castle Crashers, the harder the enemies are to kill. So it's actually slower to play with 4 people, but who wants to play Castle Crashers alone? Also, because this is a less popular category, we could very possibly steal world record away, so that was our goal. Anyways, we did some more juggling, defeated all the enemies, and exited to the overworld. Here we want to stop by the blacksmith to take this compass, which we can use later. After that, we have some general weak enemies to defeat, because this game isn't too hard just yet. Don't worry though, that will change very soon. Oh, and another thing I should mention is the enemies drop health and money pretty often. We decided to take all the money equally, except for Brian. We want to buy a better weapon later in the game, and there's only enough money for 3 of us, so sorry Brian. Anyways, after a bit of fighting, we make it to the first mini boss of the game. Alright, first little boy. He just ran over us. Okay. And just keeps spamming strong attack. He's not even on the screen right now. Where is he going? Easiest little boss of our lives.
Probably.
Now we're back to moving for a while, taking everyone out again, including these sleeping guys, which is kind of the rudest thing I've ever done. Imagine waking up to 4 idiots killing you. Unlucky. Anyways, we quickly make it to the main boss of the level, but we actually want to quit out before we fight him. This way we can both heal ourselves before the fight and use the upgrades we got from leveling up. For the most part, we want to focus on upgrading strength with a little bit of defense every once in a while. But now it's time to fight the boss for real and save our first princess.
That's Big Chungus.
Okay, so this guy is very annoying because of his shield. So everybody just try to stay in front of him, and we just all got sucker punched.
No, I want to get hit by his shield. Don't tell me what to do.
Did he just point at us and laugh?
Yeah, to be fair, we are kind of pathetic compared to him.
Brian, help me!
Purple Hair Guy, we need
Wait,
your
are you
help.
guys dead? Well, I didn't think he'd die on the first boss.
Okay, you don't really have to say it like that.
He's about to die.
Well, why are you all the way over there?
There, we've done it. I'm coming, buddy.
Yeah, that was a fight. And our reward for that amazing gameplay is tons of money, excluding Brian. Then after collecting it, Chris gets to murder us all so he can kiss the first princess. Next, we're heading over to the forest, and on the way we hear one of my favorite songs of the game. We also get to see Chris's dinosaur, which he calls
my pelican.
Yeah, my brother's a weird guy. But it's back to fighting until we actually make it into the forest. And if you've ever played Castle Crashers, you know they love their poop jokes, so I'm just gonna let those play out rapid fire.
Get out of here, Chris. This is private. Nice. You guys like hot chocolate?
Why'd you say that? Oh no.
Like a friendly bear.
I wonder how he's doing.
Oh no.
Why do they add that in? What does that add to the game? I'm sure you noticed that this is Purple Hair Guy's favorite part. Anyways, after making it far enough, it's time for another mini boss. Except it's not really a boss and more of a creature that's running away in terror as we murder it. But that's what it gets for looking at us funny. And after the fight, all the animals in the forest start running towards us, and it's time for the deer auto-scroller. In this part of the game, we all ride a deer and need to escape from whatever nightmare fuel this guy is. But it's not too hard of a part to stay alive, and if anyone needs to heal, they can just die in this section to be full health in the next. And being in full health is a very good idea for this next section since we're in a river. Water's not a fun place to fight since you can only attack when you jump in the air or if you're riding on some wood, animals, or a corpse. The important part here is to survive while taking out the green fish guys as fast as possible. Then eventually we reach the last one where we can quit out to get some upgrades and heal up again. Then once we pop back in, it's time for the next boss. Alright, everyone attack the cat!
Break the fur ball and keep him in place.
Alright, someone's got to break the curve. Do not move, Chris. Stay in the middle. Stay in the middle. Nice, we got him. Get him with all your might.
You can like group his punches and get a few hits in between.
Well, that seems like a lot of work. You're forgetting about that. Alright, keep him in the middle. Get ready for a fur ball.
Alright, keep him in the middle.
Oh, nice. I dodged it.
Alright, murder.
Brian, how do you die?
That was the fastest cat that we have ever done. So we've now made it back to the land, and here's where I'd say the game actually starts getting hard. We have to face off against these bear guys, and since we've barely upgraded our defense, every single one of their hits does a ton of damage. This especially gets bad once we meet this bear, who can use a tornado attack. So we try to prevent him from doing that as much as possible by getting him in a stun lock. Then after defeating him, we move on, only to get destroyed by the big bears. Now you can probably see why this speedrun is so hard, but thankfully we can just heal each other instead of restarting the level, so the mistake wasn't fatal. And from here we'll keep advancing until we reach a cave which has some of the most annoying enemies in the game. These slimes are just awful. You can't juggle them and they get flung all over the place with our attacks, so it just takes a while to get past this part. But after a while we get to fight our next boss, the pooping bat. Now this boss is a lot easier when you know how to fight him, but it's still a scary part of the game. The bat has a licking attack which will almost always one-shot us at our current levels, so we need to shield the lick attack and hope we don't get destroyed.
He's licking blood. Oh, I'm dead. Brian! Brian, heal me!
Yeah, I got you.
Thank you. I'll go heal Ben. Keep attacking.
I kill a purple hair guy.
I'm dead.
We don't need you.
I got you. No man left behind.
Thankfully, we got him done, and the king finally decides to join up with us, along with some cannon dudes. Here we have to murder a bunch of bees, which feels kinda bad since bees are awesome, but when you gotta go fast, you ignore the casualties. Sonic the Hedgehog probably said that once. So we make it through the flower fields, fling ourselves onto the enemy's castle, and start fighting some knights. This part is great since it's completely 2D, and allows for some of the greatest juggles in the game. The only problem is the knights have a huge amount of health, so sometimes we end our juggles before they die, cause you gotta eyeball how much health they have. And after that, it's time to crash a wedding. Here we jump right into their wedding cake and murder every single guest. But our main focus is on the groom. In this fight, the most optimal way to play it is to constantly keep the boss in hit stun so he can't go invulnerable with his piano. This honestly isn't too hard and we've done it multiple times, but I'll just let you watch.
Beat him up!
There it is. Keep
moving.
going. Oh my gosh.
He does like a spin attack when he comes out, and it will one-shot you, I think.
I couldn't even see where the bombs were.
Oh, I got zapped!
Okay, come on out.
Your piano playing is awful. Curb stomp him! Keep moving!
Do not let him get another one.
Alright, finally.
There we go. Good job. Good job.
Brian, protect her!
Well, at least we finally took him down and saved the princess. Obviously, nothing's gonna go wrong at all because there are so many people protecting her, and how did we not prevent that? Well, now it's time for the carriage sequence where we ride on the back of their wedding car while taking out the enemies following us. This is pretty easy as long as we keep doing jump attacks, cause the enemies will just fall off after a single hit. Then after a while, the cat thing attacks and we just jump into him and destroy him incredibly fast. It's actually kind of hilarious how fast this guy dies. But after that, yay, more slimes. I love them so much. At least this is the last time we'll see them. Anyways, we make our way through the level until we get put in an active volcano, which isn't dangerous at all, probably. And we'll continue on our way until we reach a hanging out place. Did I just call that a hanging out place? Couldn't I have just said a room? Whatever. At this point, we absolutely need to keep as much health as possible since we're about to be at one of the hardest bosses in the game. This means we'll fight the goons fairly safe before making it over to the Cyclops.
Why is she dancing?
He's happy.
Oh gosh! Brian, the guy loves you! Thank you, sir.
Save me,
help, Brian! Brian, run!
I got him.
What are you guys doing?
Brian, help!
Yep, that dude's a jerk. But we beat him first try and honestly way faster than we ever have before. We also got a ton of money and I got to kiss my girl. But we aren't done with the volcano just yet. And we honestly haven't even reached the hard part. Not only do we now need to deal with the nacho cheese coming out the ground, but every single hit our enemies do is that much more lethal. Something fun this stage introduces though is sandwiches. These can be dropped by enemies and let us take out immovable walls and damage enemies better. They also make us really buff and it feels good to live out the dream, even if just for a bit. But after a bit of playing, our worries came true. One by one, everyone got killed off until it was only purple hair guy, and finally, he dropped. Yeah, that kinda sucked. Thankfully though, world record was still achievable and our dreams were not over yet, so we pressed on. Then, once we made it back to the same area, we gave no mercy. This is what they deserve for losing us 2 minutes. Anyways, back to the same old until we reached another mini boss, a tiny volcano. On a bigger volcano? Is that possible? To damage this boss, we need to be in our sandwich form, but we were a bit low on sandwiches, so it took a bit longer than we would have wanted. And then immediately after that, it's time for the real boss boss of the stage, a dragon and a sock puppet. And here's how that went.
It's really easy if you're using the sandwich guy.
I mean, even then, he fires you. Oh my god, I died?
Oh man, I am really dead.
Wait, I'll res.
Don't even try to get me. Like, I am deep in the thick of it.
I got you guys. Just stop dying.
It's so hard, he fires you all the time.
Oh god.
Wait for timing. You guys just gotta wait for timing. Somebody res Brian. So he opens his hand and then he gets ready for a breath attack.
Ow.
And you just back
Go,
up.
go, go! I got you, Ben. He's done.
Yes,
Nice.
let's go.
Now get the sock puppet. No.
Good job, fellas.
Yeah, we really do play way dumber than we should, but at the very least, we now have the golden steering wheel and could move on from the volcano to an even harder place. But before that, we want to stop by the volcano shop and get our new weapon. This weapon ups your strength and is very useful for a pretty much all strength build, obviously. Chris and I will have to wait a tiny bit longer to use it since you need to be level 10, but Purple Hair Guy is our carry, so he can use it now. Oh, and we can also get a couple of health potions for insurance before being on our way. And since we no longer need to worry about money, this is going to be more common for the rest of the run. And now it's time for the harder place. We head over to the industrial castle and immediately use a sandwich to take down the wall. We're then greeted by a bunch of enemies who we basically need to juggle, because if we get hit, we're gonna lose a lot of health. They also have really annoying attacks like their bombs, so it's just not a fun place. Once they're down, it's time to go through a couple traps like these plasma balls, these smashy things, we don't need to talk about how bad I was here, and some zappy boys before going up an elevator while fighting some more guys. And before we make it to the next boss, there's gonna be a single really powerful big guy. The way to beat this dude is by always moving and saving your teammates when he grabs them. We've lost more than our fair share of runs on this part though, so we had it down pretty well, and finally, it's time for the boss. In this fight, we need to focus on the center pole thingies, a gun, and a big hand. The hand is really the only annoying part though, not because it's hard to defeat, but because it takes so long for no reason. Yeah, this boss fight is probably one of my least favorites, but we beat it, and the king runs away with Purple Hair Girl, only to get her stolen by the wizard. And since this is Purple Hair Guy's soulmate, he got to decide what to do with the king.
Nobody touch him. He's mine.
Alright, he's all yours.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy, but this fight did give us some progress since now we have the golden telescope, and this is the last thing we need to cross the ocean. So Chris and I got our upgraded weapons since we got to level 10 before heading off to sea. And now this pirate section is just there. It's pretty much an auto scroller where there's a bunch of ninjas trying to murder us, but they also suck at their jobs. It be like that. Now after the ocean, we make it to the desert, probably one of the scariest parts of the run, though it does start out easy. There's some insects that pop out of quicksand, and they aren't really a challenge, along with some scorpions that we don't even need to fight, and they get one shot if we do. But after moving for a while, we find our first beetle. This dude buries himself in the ground and attacks for a while we just need to wait it out. The only time we can attack him back is when he jumps back up, and then after a bit of beating him up, he'll give the white flag. Seems like a simple enough fight, but then only a bit later, we need to fight him again, but this time there's like 6. No longer can we shield and protect ourselves super easily because they're coming from all angles. The most consistent way to defeat these guys is going to the corners of the screen and hoping they won't go behind you. So a bit more annoying, but not that bad to win against. Where it really gets hard is this area, where the game bombards us with both beetles and some warriors, which is one of the scariest combinations in the game. This is because while the beetles do their normal annoying stuff, the warriors can throw bombs or use arrows, which I'm pretty sure are unblockable. I don't know, it's really bad either way. We usually get at least one loss here, but somehow we survived the full thing, which felt really good. And now we get a boss fight. Yeah, the spaceship has a health bar, but it barely does any damage and takes damage really quickly, so I don't even know if you can call this a mini boss. Then we fight a second one with the exact same results before the big spaceship comes by and abducts us all. Once we make it onto the ship, here's where things get a little bit sad. After walking a bit, aliens will swarm us from each side and try to kill us. But the thing is, a single hit of damage kills them. Yeah, these guys get one shot over and over and over again. I kind of feel bad doing this to them, but whatever. After that, we break some lasers and see Dwayne the Bug Johnson, joke made by Chris, and he decides to activate the ship's self-destruct sequence, I guess. So we have 1 minute to leave.
Alright, I'm not getting left behind this time.
Hey, that's not a choice you get to make.
Dibs on me not getting left behind. I vote we leave Ben behind.
Yeah, only the people who deserve to be left behind get left behind.
Alright, Purple Hair Guy, we're leaving you behind.
Alright guys, everyone focus on
Just run straight through this. If it's meant to be, it's meant
No,
to be.
I'm not gonna make it.
This is the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
See you, Ben.
Brian? Wait, you guys are throwing.
Ben, come on! Alright, Ben's getting left behind. Brian, go to the furthest one. Hurry. Oh,
I'm in it! Yes!
Yeah, that wasn't my finest hour, but now we're off the ship and we get to steal some camels. The camels have the ability to spit on command and it does a single hit of damage, so that's pretty funny. And we keep going on our way until we reach the next building. Here's where we need to fight 2 weaklings before their big brothers come out and we have an actual challenge. Like any other big guys, we want to constantly be moving and just hope we don't randomly get thrown and die. But with 4 people, it's not too bad. Now we're finally coming up to the last bits of this level. There's only a few more hordes of enemies, each with those really annoying arrow abilities, but we've practiced way too much of this game to die here. And after we made it far enough, it's time for a game of volleyball. Yeah, so volleyball is pretty messed up in this game because there aren't as many rules as normal volleyball. For example, we can try to murder our opponents, and as long as our feet don't cross the line, it's fine. So we just kept the pressure on them constantly while they try to play fair, and finally got our 10 points to win. For some reason, this caused the random guy to come up and give us a map, so that's cool I guess, and we went back to the overworld. Because now this map opens up a new area and we're getting closer to the final boss. But before that, we need to pick up a special horn to open another entrance, so we head over to the marsh. I actually really enjoy the marsh because we surprisingly have some people on our side helping us, which I feel doesn't happen enough. Sure, some may die, but that seems like a them problem. Now the enemies for this area are mostly just a bunch of skeletons and these warriors in very stylish green clothes. It's some pretty normal fighting though, and the only eventful things that happened were that both Chris and Brian met their untimely demises. Sure, we could have healed them, but that's also a lot of work, so we left them both to die alone. But it's fine, because as soon as we made it to the next area, they were revived and now had full health, which is especially good because now it's time for the corn boss. The most annoying boss in the world because he just keeps being a jerk.
I actually hate this boss. It's so bad.
And then we have the 2 farmers who are just doing nothing in the corner.
Make him hit the farmers.
Farmers, help us, please.
look at their dead stares. They're just thinking the We Are Farmers song right now. Oh, look, one's coming to help.
Yeah, he got hit, so they actually want to help
They
us.
have to get hit to want to help.
Yeah, this
Okay.
boss fight is so fast in 1 player, and then for 4 player, it's this.
The other guy's just thinking about how to improve his farmers-only dating profile.
Chris, that's free advertisement. We don't do that.
Oh, sorry. Is farmers-only even a thing anymore?
I think it's a thing. I go on every day.
Brian, don't you have a girlfriend?
Yeah, I go just to see what people are saying.
Well, he doesn't want to be lonely, so he's going to farmersonly.com.
Yeah, stay split up a little bit so we don't just all die at the
Brian,
same
Brian.
time. I'm dead.
Oh, God,
I'm
Brian,
dead.
heal!
Brian, you're the last
Brian,
one.
run! Get that popcorn! Get the popcorn!
Brian, what are you doing?
What are you
Please.
doing? God dang it! No.
I got him!
Purple hair guy, run!
Okay, good. That's
Oh,
what I
thank
wanted
goodness.
him to do.
Brian,
Wow.
what
Brian, now-
were you doing?
I literally saved him, and I'm getting hate.
You do not know pain until you've played this
Oh,
boss.
gosh.
All right, don't die, guys.
Brian,
Oh
I
my
got
god,
you.
he just
Brian,
get him.
Brian, I literally
Oh,
res.
he's off screen.
Oh, no.
Can you stop?
Guys, we have to get him. We have to get him.
Die!
Okay.
Yes!
Thank you!
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we've really been enjoying these close calls, haven't we? But after the corn guy, we got the horn we came here for and got to use it to enter the flooded temple. In this temple, there's a bunch of water everywhere, which makes us walk slower. Well, all of us except for purple hair guy, since he has the seahorse companion. Yeah, that's some Castle Crashers mechanics you probably didn't know about. Anyways, it's another basic level of not too much significance until we fight Medusa. Medusa isn't really hard at all though, but she's annoying to fight since you can only really hit her if you're directly in front of her or behind her. That's all I really have to say about this fight. We murdered another innocent creature and we're back on our way, because this opens up our next path, which is going to lead us to the Ice King and the princess he stole. This is a really annoying path though for a few reasons. The first is we need to climb up a hill while fighting really strong enemies and dodging giant boulders. Not the most comfortable time. We even stocked up on tons of potions before this, but they very quickly got whittled down, which wasn't too reassuring. Then once we make it up the hill and beat the stupid boulder thrower, we make it over to the ladder area. In this area, tons of enemies come at us at the same time. The best way to defeat these guys is to group them all up in the same spot using a ladder. And this plan usually works out great. Usually. Yep. One by one we died, and eventually this resulted in the second loss of our speedrun. This one really hurt. Still though, world record was possible, but at this point, it was gonna be close. We needed to go fast. So we went right back to the ladder area, and yeah, this is what I meant by the ladder strat. I really don't know how we messed it up so bad because it's really not that hard. We get them all in the same area and take them out in a group. Then after doing this with all the enemies, we arrived at Snow World and we're really in the end game now. But before we can get to our next bosses, we have to go through the Snow World defeating some more enemies. They've constructed ice towers to try to stop us, but honestly they're kind of pathetic. We very easily make our way through everyone just like normal until we're in the Ice King's castle. And there isn't as much fighting in here as there are traps. He's got icicles which repeatedly miss us, and this place where it switches between arrows and ice attacks. You're supposed to use sound to know which attack is coming. We're just not really good at that, but it doesn't matter. It's time to beat the boss. And the Ice King is way easier than he probably should be. All he does is teleport around and use ice attacks which barely hit us. I also love how he keeps laughing as we destroy his entire career, but he learns very soon that he's no match for us and it's time for some more money. This time we're all gonna share the cash so we can all get potions for the next stage before rescuing the next princess where Brian gets his kiss. Now all that's left is to rescue Purple Hair Girl. And the path to her is interesting. We see a bunch of villains who fly up into the air, so we do it too. Not really sure when we got this ability, but whatever, we made it to their island, time for them to die. And after that, all that's really left is a boss rush. Our first boss is the Painter, who's an interesting boss because we've never seen him before. I'm pretty sure he was originally cut content, and they decided to put him in the end because why not, but it's a shame because he's a pretty neat concept. Though I guess the execution isn't the greatest, since we pretty much just pummel the boss to death with no challenge. We're playing with 4 people, so even if one person gets hit by a painting, everyone else is unaffected, so we finish the fight really quickly. Then our next boss is the Cyclops. Oh yeah, the Cyclops was revived after dying earlier. Sorry, forgot to mention it. But this time he's so much weaker. He lost all his good moves and literally all we need to do is straight on attack him. Then after a bit, he'll jump on his coffin and spawn a minion to attack. There's nothing we can really do in this section except wait and then go back to pummeling once he jumps down. We ended up 2-cycling this boss, which is the best we've ever done, so world record was getting more and more likely. But before that, now it's time for the Necromancer.
Dang, bro, you live like this?
Yep, he really does live like this because he uses all these dead bodies to attack us. Kinda morbid and also kind of ineffective because they suck. The unfortunate thing though is that Chris disconnected. Literally at the second to last boss of the game, Chris's internet had a hiccup and he no longer gets to finish the run with us, so that's kind of funny. Still, at the end of the day, we had a job to do and I wasn't restarting this speedrun, let's be honest. So we beat the Necromancer and moved on to the final boss of the game. This fight is divided into 6 different sections. First, it starts out with the crystals. You kind of just stab them to death, nothing much to say. But then it gets interesting because we're actually fighting a person. In this phase, he switches between having a blue bubble, which only lets us use magic attacks, and a red bubble, which only lets us use physical ones. And since we haven't upgraded our magic at all the entire run, we just gotta hope he stays on red for a while. Once that phase is done, the wizard transforms into a balloon. Yeah, not too much to say about this one. And then we won. We got a treasure chest, and as soon as it opens up, we get a terrifying spider. And this, in my opinion, is the evil wizard's hardest phase. He has really annoying attacks, is in the air, and does a ton of damage. But we've played way too long to lose here, so with perseverance, we defeated yet another phase. And honestly, I think the game should have ended here, but instead, this dude goes back to his balloon phase, which is an interesting choice. And finally, after that, it's time for the final phase, which is just him being back to a normal guy and running away. This part's not hard at all, but it takes so long since he just keeps running. Honestly, it probably took a bit longer than it should have, but finally, it was done. Oh, let's go!
Let's go! You did it!
Style
All right.
on him.
All we need is you to get your girl, purple hair guy. Don't steal her.
Brian, get out of the way. This is mine. This is my chance. Oh, baby. I got her. Purple hair girl in the bag. Let's get out of here.
I don't know when we call off time. There probably. 1:54:07. That puts us at first place at the 4-player speedrun.
Let's go!
Let's go!
Let's go!
Yo.
We kind of get destroyed compared to the 2-player speedruns, but yeah, they have it easier. All right, subscribe if you enjoyed. Bye.